tomorrow, through all this world, joy and song, of joy and song. We still can have, singing tomorrow.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks. Here we are again, protesting the same crap. And we're going to keep doing it. And now the kids are on board 100% because their butts are the ones on the line. Thanks to us. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? Check it out. There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky. You got it right? There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky.
Change regarding the environment, then write your name and your age.
Working hard to get that
Is this a line to sign the card?
all day long. The sound of drilling with solar panels make no sound. Will the circle be unbroken?
How are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. Been busy.
There's a better kind of power. There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky. In the earth and in the sky. There is poison in our water, in our food and the air we breathe. But in the air, in the ground, below the frost line, there is all of the heat that we need. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better kind of power. There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky. We have built our entire culture on the bones of dinosaurs. But what the heck are we gonna do when the oil and the gas are no more? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better kind of power in the earth and in the sky. I got a request from Courtney Williams, Earth Mother Extraordinaire, and human mother extraordinaire, and it's a song my good friend David Burns wrote about the disaster of nuclear energy. The chorus is pretty easy. If you really listen, you can easily sing. And I'll try to call out the words a little bit. I am Fukushima. Sorry? Alright, I gotta sing the song without crying. It's literally impossible to sing and cry at the same time, and this is a thing that's plagued me my whole career as a singer. You gotta detach just enough. It's kind of like our movement. You have to detach just enough to do the work without waking up every day feeling beaten. And that's where this comes in. Us. We had a sign painting party at our house about a week ago, and I was feeling so hopeless before it. And all we did was do some coloring, make some signs. You know, big deal. And I walked out of there feeling great because we did it together. So I love all these crazy people. I may not ever find the words here. I'm having a senior moment. Oh, geez. Senior moment. I may have to skip that one.
My card.
Scared. So I'll sing that one down in Croton today. I promise. What's up, Johnny?
Oh my God, Tony!
This is a song I really wanted to sing today. In these hills there is a power we will never understand. We can carve our politicians, faces in the land, but the earth is too strong to be stained by mortal man. Black hills, will you sing that with me? Black hills, black hills. Black hills, black hills. Went down to the res and saw the country's great shame. Cardboard shacks and broken glass of the people stripped of home and name. But the heart of these brave warriors, nothing you can do will change. Black hills, it's just two words. Black hills, right in the center of the continent. Black hills, black hills. Thousands of brave souls, martyrs with no statues to them.
We're going to keep an access way. So we just have to keep a nice access way here for anybody who wants to enter the building. Access. I feel it just like water. Water is life. Bye, guys. access, Jerry, so you can be here or there.
Probably. The song has just a few lines and it's really easy. I sing, and then you can repeat it. I can sing, you sing, I sing, you sing. If you get it, we can sing together.
I love it.
We are the light of the moon and the sun.
All right, access. Let's grant these folks access. We need to just have some access here.
I want to try that again. We are the light of the moon and the sun. We are the light of the moon and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope deep inside. We are the light and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope deep inside. Hey! We are the light of the moon and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope deep inside. Acapella. We are the light of the moon and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope deep inside.
Fred, are you at a good spot to switch over?
All right.
Where exactly?
Sign. Right here. Oh, that's what you're here for. Good, good. So let's just come. It's a greeting cards. Please sign the greeting cards to Senator Schumer and send a message with your age. With your age.
I am part of the intergenerational team that put this event together. I just have a couple of housekeeping things. We want to keep a path on this sidewalk clear from the curb cut down there across this little plaza to the curb cut. And we want to make sure also that there's access to the building. If you parked in the parking lot across the street, I would ask that you run quickly and move your car the half block to that garage right there so that the businesses in Crossroads Plaza and the customers that shop there have access to shopping. With that, I want to thank the other housekeeping thing. We have cards, ginormous cards, that we're going to deliver to Senator Schumer at the end of this rally with our climate demands so that he knows what we want and he can take those messages back to Washington, D.C. and he can push to make them happen. So during the course of our rally today, I'd ask that you make your way across the plaza there. There's Sharpies and enormous cards. Put your climate demand and put your age, if you don't mind, because we are here today. As you know, back in March, there was a youth climate strike. The youth, led by Greta Thunberg, asked that all generations stand with them. And so that is why we are here today. And I've got some of my my coordinators with me who work to plan. We are an intergenerational group. And so we're standing here today, all generations together, calling for climate action. So with that, I would like to start by introducing Owl from the Ramapo Lenape Nation. Those are the original people of these lands. And he's going to start with a prayer, start with an acknowledgement of those lands, and then get down to the nitty-gritty about what the Ramapo Lenape are facing today and the ways that we can do more than just acknowledge this land, but actually stand with that community. Thank you, Owl.
Anashik, Ichimanatu, Anashik, Kishalamok, Elamiliang, Hukanaki, walk, Kishok, walk, Nipahum, walk, Alangway, walk, Hipatakwi, Anashik, Hukanaki, Anashik Mbi, Anashik Kashong, Anashik Tindao, Anashik. I'm Al from the Ramapo Lenape Nation, and these are words from the Munsee language, one of the original languages of these lands. And what I said in English was, thank you, Great Spirit, thank you from whose thoughts we arose for giving us today the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, and thunder. And then a prayer of thanks for the earth, for the waters, for the air, and for fire. It's not so much that we have rights to water, we are water. 60% of our bodies are water. So when we pollute the waters, we pollute the air, we're polluting ourselves. It's so inspiring to see so many youth here and really to see them pushing the change that needs to be done, and the fact that it's inclusive, not just it's youth of all ages, old people of all ages. So it's really inspiring to have that. As far as Ramapo, we have a situation in Ringwood, New Jersey, where the Ford Motor Company in the 1970s dumped hundreds of tons of toxic waste into our community. It's the first Superfund site to be declared, cleaned up, and then relisted. And they removed some more, but now they want to just leave the rest in the ground and cap it, literally cover it up. So you just call it capping. So, and it's a crime against humanity to leave that there. We have people that's hard to find in their 60s now. We have people all ages getting sick. So we in the Ramapo Mountains know what will happen when we don't take action, because we're living that. We're on the front lines of that. So this is a great day that we're finally addressing many of these issues, and I urge you all to keep an eye on the Split Rock Sweetwater Prayer website on the Facebook, on the website there, Split Rock Sweetwater. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot of business with Senator Schumer and others, and we're going to bring this issue of the Superfund site there because they say 50 million people live within 3 miles of a Superfund site in the United States, 50 million. And as far as cancer rates, New York and New Jersey, we're in the top 5, and that's not a place we want to be in. So it's not just the climate, or it is the climate and all these different issues. So for the youth, thank you so much for taking the lead on this. And let me go ahead and let you all speak since the old people have spoken too long. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, next up, I want to invite Sage West, who worked with me to plan this rally from Peekskill High School. She's also on the Peekskill Youth, one of the coordinators of the Peekskill Youth NAACP. So Sage, come on up.
I'm going to be try to keep it brief. I'm speaking both English and Spanish for the Spanish speakers that may be attending or watching or whatever. So firstly, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you for everybody who participated with the chalk and the signs and the signing their car.
They can't hear. Yeah, put your mouth. You can even, if you want to pull it off, just point it right at your mouth.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, can everybody hear me now? Yes. Okay, my name is Sage Owiski North, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I know a lot of you came from other towns and came from our own town. I really appreciate you all for the participation with the chalk and the posters and the boards and all that. Thank you so much. So I'll be saying this in both English and Spanish. I'm going to try to keep it short. Today is a day that is very important. It is a day that we are here to help the earth and to force our government to take responsibility for its actions and to take climate change seriously. Woo! I would like to talk about some of the problems with our environment. For example, the forests that are burning, the people who don't have clean water, all the resources that we are using that are limited, the air that is contaminated and polluted, the animals that are dying and losing their homes, and all the other problems that are occurring in our environment. This is our world, the only world that we currently have to live in. I, the mayor, the people, our elected officials throughout the county and the state, all care. I know they do. So when you see something you don't like in the environment, when you see something you want to change, you need to reach out to them. You need to reach out to Mayor Rainey. You need to reach out to the city council. You need to reach out to our senators and state legislators. And you need to tell them what you see, whether it has to do with air, water, affordable solar panels. All those kinds of things are important and matter. It could be small things. It could be planting more trees in the parks, more garbage cans and recycling in our schools. Those are all small things that matter. Knowing how to recycle. In Jersey City at my grandpa's house, they put posters in the apartment building so they know what is recyclable, what is able to recycle and what is not. So those are small things that can make big changes. My last thing that I wanted to say is that we have to keep our community clean, we have to keep our world clean, and we have to work together to do so. Please help me help you save the world, because if we don't do it, then nobody else will. And then now I'm going to say it in Spanish. I'm sorry if my Spanish is not very good. Okay. Hold on. Y para los hispanos hablantes, hoy es un día muy importante. Hoy es un día para ayudar al mundo y para obligar al gobierno a tomar en serio el cambio climático. Yo quiero hablar sobre los problemas con el ambiente. La selva en Brasil está en llamas. La gente no tiene agua limpia. Nosotros usamos muchos recursos naturales. El aire está contaminado. Los animales están muriendo. Hay muchos problemas en el mundo y en nuestras comunidades. Yo, el alcalde y el ayuntamiento queremos escuchar a todas las preocupaciones. Nuestras voces y ideas son muy importantes. Incluso las peticiones pequeñas, como más árboles en los parques, más botes de basura delante de las calles y más días para limpiar la basura en nuestras comunidades. Por favor, ayúdame a salvar nuestro mundo. Estamos aquí porque si no lo hacemos, ¿quién lo hará?
Lisa Moyer. I'd like to have her speak next. She's also one of our planners that worked on our planning team. She's also the proprietor of the Blue Pig in Croton, and I'm sure we've got a lot of fans of that ice cream here today. The reason she's here today is because the Blue Pig is closed for the climate strike. So Lisa's also the founder of the Croton Climate Initiative, and she's going to speak here today not only as a climate activist but as a business owner. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. As a business owner in your community, I would remind all of you that no business can thrive in an unstable climate. All you have to do is look back to Sandy, when all of us experienced those power outages. How can businesses thrive without power? So I'm going to remind all of you that as businesses, and as those of you that maybe work, your carbon footprint does not stop when you go to work. And as a business in this community, we care about our customers, but we are also a host in your community. And so therefore, I ask all of you that when you frequent your local businesses, it is time to speak about the elephant in the room. If that business is using plastics and wastables in an offensive way to you, say something. Say something. If you go to work and the air condition is so high that you're putting on a sweater in August, say something. It is up to you. The person who turns on the heat, who turns on the air, who buys the snacks in the staff room, if they're not aware of climate, it's time to bring them in. For those of you that are business owners, there's a program right here in Westchester called Westchester Green Business Challenge. It is open to everyone. The Blue Pig is a certified green business, the only certified food business in Westchester that is green, which is wonderful for us, but is a shame to all of you. It's possible, it's here, but it takes all of us. So I ask you all to get involved and to take a lead from our own police department and say, if you see something, say something. The time is now. Thank you.
Okay, next we have another, can you guys hear me? Okay, next we have another student from the Peekskill High School. He's also a part of the Youth NAACP. This is Justin Smithson. He is also an amazing singer. He's part of the Peekskill City Singers that are at the high school. So now he's going to come up and he's going to sing a song.
Oh, great.
Hello, my name is Justin Smithson, and I will be singing Feel the World by Michael Jackson.
Good job.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place can be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there, if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Feel the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. You and for me. You and for me.
Thank you.
Justin speaks as wonderfully as he sings, and he was part of the group of students that met with Chuck Schumer's staff on Tuesday to kind of lay the groundwork for us being here today and bringing our climate demands. So thank you, Justin, for taking time on Tuesday and today to use your beautiful voice for climate justice. Next up, I'm going to ask our Deputy Mayor, Kathy Talbot, to come up. As many of you know, Peekskill recently passed a climate emergency resolution and declared a climate emergency here in Peekskill. That is awesome, but it needs to be said that we are the first city in the county to declare a climate emergency. Peekskill is leading on the climate fight. And I am so grateful for Kathy Talbot and her work on that issue, and I think she knows that I'm going to continue to hold her to it. So thank you, Kathy, for coming out and for speaking with us today.
Hi, Peekskill. It is so exciting to be here today, I have to say, and to see the young people leading this charge today. It's just wonderful. Because this is your world, and it's going to be your world. I'm going to be passing through and passing on, as are a lot of the older people in the audience. You have to take this ball and run with it, and I'm very encouraged to see that you are. Peekskill is trying very, very hard, and we're succeeding on some fronts to reduce our carbon footprint. We have a lot of initiatives in Peekskill, including Peekskill 2030, and which is to reduce our carbon footprint, and to do something like this, and I want to acknowledge my colleague, Councilwoman Vanessa Modelo, because she brought this to our attention, so I don't take credit for that, but I do take credit for my vote on it, which was yes, let's pass it. Woo! So, yes, right on. So, we're changing Peekskill into a 21st century city. We're changing all the old buildings, or most of them. We're saving energy by reducing the wasted electricity, the wasted heating and air conditioning, upgrading windows, and we just passed a $4.3 million improvement bond to change everything in Peekskill that we can to upgrade it and to save electricity and save energy. So that being said, I just want to read you the last, this is full of, whereas this, that, and the other thing, these things tend to be very long. But here's what we resolved. That the City of Peekskill Common Council declares a climate emergency and calls for an immediate emergency mobilization to restore a safe climate. We're working as hard as we can. We need you all to help us keep working as hard as we can. We're committed. This council is absolutely amazing in terms of its commitment for these things, more than I've ever seen before. So let's continue to fight together. I'm committed. You're committed. The kids are committed. My grandson may have, at 6 years old, I hope he has clean air and water and earth that's suitable to live in. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Our next speaker was also part of our planning committee and is also my daughter. Our next speaker is Irene Lindbergh. She is a student, a 4th grade student at Buchanan Verplank Elementary School. Stand right here.
My name is Irene Lindbergh. I live in Peekskill with my mom, dad, brother, and dog. I live just 400 feet from the Algonquin Pipeline. It's also just 400 feet from my school. It's a 42-inch fracked gas pipeline that runs under Indian Point Nuclear Power Plant. It carries greenhouse gases like methane or natural gas. When they vent the pipeline to do repairs, all those gases go out into the air and make people sick. If the pipeline explodes, there'll be no way for us to escape. I'm growing up in this fight for climate justice. I'm part of Safe and Resist Spectra. To stop the pipeline, we organized rallies, went to marches, and planned fundraisers for campaigns. We visited offices of elected officials, spoke at public hearings, and did die-ins at pipeline meetings, and nothing worked. Nobody listened. We told Senator Schumer, the school principal, the governor, senators, congresspeople, FERC, and nobody listened. They ignored us instead of taking action and pushing other people to do something about it, like the president. Even my school thought, oh, it's not a big deal, nothing bad is going to happen, and they completely ignored it. What they should have done is fought for us and the people around them. It made me feel upset, angry, mad, and sad that people didn't care about us. Instead of doing the right thing, which was to fight, they did the easy thing, which was nothing. When I was younger, I thought the few people who were helping us were a lot of people, but they weren't. I looked up to our friends helping us and my mom. Now I look up to Greta Thunberg as well. She's the one who started the climate strikes, and she said some pretty inspiring things and smart things. She's also been very honest that people are doing nothing. Now more people are taking action. More elected officials have gotten involved. So there has been some change. Now we're working on climate and the whole picture, not just the pipeline. People are listening, but still not our government. To fight, we should be listening to the kids and the scientists and focusing on the future, not just the present. We need to think about what will become of the planet if we keep going the way we're going. We must cut our greenhouse gas emissions and switch to 100% renewable energy. We need to stop using fossil fuels altogether. Instead, we're putting more investment into fossil fuels. Companies are getting bigger and we're getting farther away from where we're supposed to be going. I've seen what damage pipelines can do to wetlands and natural landscapes. Machines digging up the earth and wetlands that many animals call home, cutting all the trees down until the air can make you sick, and it's worse for people with asthma. It's time for change. We need to listen to Greta and act like the house is on fire, because it pretty much is. My message for Senator Schumer to take to Washington, D.C. is, first, start acting like the house is on fire. Second, cut our greenhouse gas emissions to zero. Third, we need 100% renewable energy now. You're not doing enough. You're failing us and everyone around you. You need to stop acting like you care and actually care. Stop doing the easy thing and start doing the right thing. We're counting on you. Don't fail us.
Nice job!
All right, thank you so much, Irene. I'd like to ask Councilperson Vanessa Modelo to speak next. Vanessa has been a real champion of the climate since long before she was on the council, but now that she's on the council, she's really been an ally in this, and we're really grateful to have her on the council and here today. Thank you, Councilperson Modelo.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's funny, this morning I woke up feeling really sick, and it's very much the feeling I get when I start thinking about our future with the impending climate crisis looming over our humanity. But being around all of you and seeing the young, energetic leaders in front of us who have far more wisdom and foresight than anyone twice, 3 times, 4 times your age. People who are in positions of power. So keep that in mind. Now, my name is Vanessa Modelo, and I'm a sitting city council member here in the city of Peekskill. And I was elected as the youngest elected official in the history of Peekskill. Thank you. Now, this declaration of a climate emergency that we passed is something that I'm very proud of. We are the second city in New York State to declare a climate emergency. And although these might just be words for some, for me, it's a promise of us meeting the urgency to act now. This declaration could not have been passed fast enough. What was once seen as a hoax by some and an academic issue by others is now a frightening reality for so many of us. We look to see the devastation of the climate crisis in present time. Just a couple of weeks ago with Hurricane Dorian, another Category 5 storm leaving an island of 50,000 people in the Bahamas, 70% underwater. And these are not isolated incidents. The science tells us warmer water and warmer air make such storms more frequent and more intense. And these storms are moving more slowly than years gone by, having more time to dump more rain and do more damage. And today we see this here at Peekskill, with the flash flooding increasing year after year. Just this past week, I had the opportunity to tour the new headquarters of Bantam Tools here on Water Street. And Bree Pettis told me that in the last year, now their facility is laying on a 100-year flood zone. And what that means that there's only supposed to be a 1% possibility of a flooding of a certain magnitude to happen every year. He told me that they flooded 4 times last year, to the point that the lower floor of his facility has been built on 12 feet of cement. Now he has the luxury to be able to protect his building, but a lot of businesses down on Lower South Street do not have that luxury. A lot of homeowners do not have that luxury. We, as the second poorest city in this county, do not have that luxury. And the climate crisis is putting a huge strain on our infrastructure. And that is why simple things like a plastic straw ban or a ban on plastic bags are not going to save us. The human species is on a path of destruction. In fact, if we continue to live as we do now and do nothing to transformatively change our society, we are on a path to eliminate more than half of all the species by the end of the century. By the time today's toddlers are senior citizens, half of the species on this planet will be gone. That is why we need our national and global leaders to take this crisis seriously. We need a Green New Deal. We need to halt all the build-out of fossil fuel infrastructure. We need a just transition to 100% renewable energy. And we need communities of color, just like people, to be at the center of that transition. Communities, Peekskill, like many throughout New York State, are overburdened by the fossil fuel infrastructure that lays in their backyards, and we deserve to be part of that transition. The destructive model of capitalism is eradicating life. Our civilization is being sacrificed for the profit of few. And it's sad to think that if climate were a bank, we would have saved it already. Yet, we're tasking our children to come and save the world, and they will. All of this is happening before our eyes, and we are acting like we have all the time we want, like this is someone else's problem. But the reality is, we are a family that's 7 billion strong on this planet. In fact, 30 million species strong. Borders and governments will never change that. Humanity is in our hands, and we are running out of time. I'll end with words that we hear from one of my personal heroes, Greta Thunberg. Change is coming, whether you like it or not. The real power belongs to the people. Let us never forget that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I have to also add that Councilperson Agadella was part of our planning team for this rally, and I'm so grateful for her work and advocating for us. We were able to get all this additional space for this morning. Thank you so much. I just want to kind of get a feel for who we have here today. If you are a high school student, applaud as loud as you can. If you are a middle school student, applaud as loud as you can. If you are an elementary school younger people.
Down one more rock.
In your 80s. So, any of those folks here? We have some. Yes. If you are a baby boomer. If you are Gen X. Applause. All right. If you are, what's next? Just millennials, right? Y. If you are Gen Y. Let's hear you.
Come on.
I don't think that's a thing. If you are a millennial, let me hear you. All right, look. If you are a member of the Peekskill NAACP, let me hear you. If you are a member of a labor union, let me hear you. If you are retired, let me hear you. If you are a student, let me hear you. If this is your first rally, let me hear you. If this is like your 500th rally and you're so tired of rallying. Okay. If you are a member of clergy or you are in a religious order, let me hear you. Excellent. I just wanted to do that to kind of demonstrate the kind of cross-section of people that we have here today. Different ages, different walks of life, all standing here together today in front of our senator's office with a clear message that we need to act on climate. And we're going to go in. If you haven't signed the card for Senator Schumer on the plaza, walk over there and put your climate demand on that card with your age. Because we want to show him that we're all standing together and we want him to take these messages back to Congress for us. I want to introduce our next speaker, who is Francesca Morrow. She is a Peekskill High School student. She's also a performer. And I think, we've heard Fred Gillen Jr. started us off this morning with songs. We had Justin Smithson perform for us. Francesca's going to perform for us now. And look around at all of the beautiful art we have. Hold up your signs, everybody. Let's see them. This is amazing. Art is important. And I am so glad that we have so many artists here today working in all different mediums, because this is important for our movement, and this is how we're going to get this done. We need everyone to contribute in the ways that they are able. So with that, I would like to introduce Francesca Morrow, performer from Peekskill High School.
I'm going to be rapping my original song about the climate and the change I want. I hope you like it. Sea levels rising, what we gonna do? Fire is occurring, glaciers melting too. Society doesn't see what this could be. A life without people is becoming a true reality. We're always concerned about things that don't matter, like guns and fights instead of our world and its power. Put your gardens and throw out your trash. So many things we can do to help our world last. I believe we can make a change if we respect the nature that we have, okay? Look at the animals in our world today. So many beautiful things that are being taken away. Water bottles are in our seas, pollution in the air, that's what we breathe. So here I am to take a stand, not to be afraid of helping when I can. Walking in and rallying through the streets, maybe one day the government will hear me speak. Come to terms that the world is ending okay, and realize we're the only ones to really blame. Please all, let's work together, live a life not afraid of the weather. We can do this, I know we can. All we gotta do is be cautious, so yeah.
That was awesome, Francesca. Thank you so much. Mondaire Jones, can you hear me? Come on up. So our next speaker is Mondaire Jones, who is a candidate, Democratic candidate for Congress, and I'm so glad he could join us today, because I sure to put him through his paces before I agreed to let him come speak. So I made sure, Green New Deal?
Absolutely.
Ban fracking?
Absolutely.
100% renewables now?
Absolutely.
We passed the test. Thank you, Mondaire, for coming to speak with us today.
I want to thank you all for being here today on this critically important day. I want to thank Courtney, I want to thank Synergy, and most importantly, I want to thank the students who are here today. I am so inspired by the young people who I see here today and all over the world and all over this country coming together for a common cause of the utmost importance. It reminds me of how I got my start in political action with the Spring Valley NAACP Youth Council just right across the Hudson River, which is also in this congressional